So the UN, the United Nations, has a set of development goals. It has had a set that ran from 2000 to 2015 and has just approved a new set of sustainable development goals that will take it through to 2030. What's really interesting about the newest set of development goals is, for the first time, the United Nations has acknowledged the important role that geospatial and geographical information will play in achieving those development goals. Now, I think this is a really significant point for the UN to make, and whilst this hasn't been a new thing, it's the first time it's been recognised at such a level, and there's some very good reasons for that. So, for instance, the UN at this point has acknowledged that without the availability of some fundamental geographic information, nations of any type will struggle to develop. And if we look at some of the fundamental requirements for any nation to develop and to build its economic prosperity, the most fundamental information that's required is that information that helps guarantee title around land ownership. And that information is fundamentally location and geospatially related. So the UN's acknowledging that these pieces of information, the collection of information that describe the environment that we live in, describe the ownership of land that we have, and all those associated pieces of information are critical in supporting economic prosperity and economic growth. And for that reason, they've made the decision to include some very important location and geographic criteria in the measures of those sustainable development goals. Question: why is geographic information so valuable? Why is it being seen by many, if not all, of the governments around the world as critical for sustainable development? Well, it plays an incredibly important role in understanding the environment and interacting with all of those things in the environment, whether it's the people, whether it's the land, or whether it's other assets, whether it's the provision of important services. Many of the challenges that government has actually relate to the provision of service, understanding what services are required, where they're required, and how they can be delivered. All of these questions relate to location in some form or other. And so the ability to be able to deliver those services to those who need them as quickly as possible is actually about having a greater understanding of location. And so what we're seeing is a much greater appreciation of the role that location can play in the delivery of good government.